yo, she keeping it live. We got the people on the couch. Need to get up on your feet. Do I have your attention? It's the 6th day of the week.
Friday Night Live, 365. Made it through the week, now it's time to unwind. I got my girl Serena, and she's telling the truth. Are you paying attention? Or she's talking to you?
Party people, listen up. We got the guests and the experts. Great conversation every Friday for the record. 7 p.m. Tell your people and your friends. Here we go. Start the show. Let the combo begin.
Friday Night Live, 365. Made it through the week, now it's time to unwind. I got my girl Serena, and she's telling the truth. So get ready, cause she's talking to you.
10-9-8, quiet on the set radio. 765, camera rolling. Ayo, start the show. 4, 3, 2, 1.
365.
Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Live with me, Sharika Abercrombie, your host. Thank y'all so much for joining us. And guess what time it is? It is the 6th day of the week. So you already know it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, because I don't know what y'all doing out there, but what I'm doing is celebrating other business owners. So today we have a special guest, Jeannetta Blackmon. And what she's going to be talking to us about, she's a mother, she's an author, hey, she's an all-around Renaissance woman. You know, Beyonce been telling us about these Renaissance women, and she is one of those. She is one of those that perfect everything her hand is put to do. So we want to go ahead and welcome her to the studio.
Hello. What a great introduction. Who are you talking about?
I was talking about you.
Thank you.
So tell the people, because there's some people that may not know you and some people that do, but for those that don't know you out there, tell them who you are before we get into what you do.
Okay. I am Jeannetta Blackmon. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother, sister, friend. I am an entrepreneur, I am an author. I am a very hands-on person that has my hands in a lot of different things. So I'm just an all-around person that try to learn a little bit about a lot of different things. That's who I am.
Absolutely. And I would agree. So what she did leave out is she is also a business coach.
I am.
And she is a personal coach, because even if you call her for amazing, she gives the best advice on life, because she's been through a lot of things, and we'll kind of get into that as we talk about her book and her workbook. But she's been through so much. So when I tell y'all she has been she's my cousin, but she's also my accountability partner. When y'all see me and y'all trying to figure out, well, how did you get to that level? It did not come because I didn't have great mentors and great, business coach and people that sharpen me. And she's been one of those like premium staples in my life that sharpened me through her experience, so I didn't have to go through some things. Yes. Some things I was able to just bypass in life and go on the fast track because she went through them, so I didn't have to. She's also, when it came down to money and trying to figure out life, she is one of those that would just easily give that information to me. Why? Because she knew I would do something exponentially great with it. And then I would also give it back to her like, hey. So when I'm telling y'all who this lady is because she is one of the people that's in my tribe. She is my family by blood, but she's in my tribe. And I told y'all, family and tribe is two different people. Family, I can choose to do you and choose not, but tribe is somebody that's going to sharpen you and get you to the next level. And she is one of those people. So we just going to dive right into not only that, because those are some of the things that you are, but you are more than that. So tell us a little bit about your history, like growing up and all of that, and how that got you to where you are present day.
Ooh, that's a very, very long story. But one of the things you did say that I absolutely love, and is how I try to pattern my life from now on and going forward, is I try to take my life experiences and share those with other young women so that the mistakes that I've made and a lot of things that I've gone through, because a lot of my agony, it was self-inflicted. I'm not one of those people that can honestly say that oh, God allowed this to happen to me, or this bad tragedy just happened to me, or things are always going wrong. A lot of things went wrong in my life because it was self-inflicted. I just made a lot of bad decisions. So long story short about my past experiences, I'll start with money. I'll start with credit. I was a young mother. I had my daughter when I was 20 years old. One of the I'm blessed to have my daughter, but a bad decision that I made was when I had first, applied to go to college. I wanted to go off to North Carolina State. I had just got an acceptance letter and found out that I was like 6 weeks pregnant. So I chose to have my daughter and dropped out of school. So literally, it took me 8 years to get an associate's degree in general education. I mean, doctor. I could have had all kinds of degrees in 8 years, but that was just because of me making all those bad decisions. So one of the things that was life changing for me, I remember getting my daughter through high school, and no, before I even go into college. In her high school years, I think it was this one day. She was probably maybe the 11th or 12th grade, our senior year in high school. I was a single mom at that time. I was struggling. I was depressed, financially stressed. And it was one of those mornings Tina needed to get to school, and I couldn't take her. I literally only had 97 cents. And I remember just like yesterday, and this has been probably 8 years ago, but I still share tears about that today. And I want to share this with you because you don't have to go through this experience, but because of my bad decisions, I did. So I remember one day, Tina and I sitting at the gas station, and we're literally just ramshacking the car, looking through the consoles, seats, the glove compartment, just in a trunk, just trying to find 3 pennies. I literally was so broke, I could not get 3 cents to make $1 to get at least $1 worth of gas. So that day, Tina can't go to school, because if I took her, I had enough gas to take her, but I didn't have enough to pick her up. And I knew then something had to change, so I had to redirect my life and start looking at what had caused me to get to that point, not only being broken, but being broke. So I'm like, I got to do something different in life. So that right there was a life-changing experience for me that led me to change my mindset, which is one of the major things that I try to teach others today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I know her because we are blood. I have never heard that story. I knew something. So y'all hearing it live with me. So when I'm saying my mouth is dropped, it's because I've never heard that story at all. But we all have that rock bottom place that catapults us to go to a different level or even examine how we got on that level. And the thing is to not try to push past that, but really say, okay, I'm here. I'm aware that I'm here. How did I get here? And for me, that piece is where I think that's where your life ended up changing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when you start to make better decisions. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're absolutely right. I had to make some better decisions because it's her senior year. I couldn't afford for her to constantly keep missing days out of school because there was just no gas money. I was separated, going through a divorce at that time. So where we stayed at, we had Tina and I were living with a girlfriend of mine. So it wasn't like she could catch the bus. I had to take her to school. This was like the last 6 months of her senior year. well, whatever that last semester is, however many months in that last semester. So it's like I had to do something dramatically different with my finances at that time because education is everything.
Right. And not only that, y'all. So she's telling you that piece of the story. However, Katina did end up going to college.
Oh, yeah.
And go ahead and tell the people.
Well, one of the things I would like to share, yes, Katina did go on to college, and she happened to be one of the second in our family to ever go off to college and graduate from college, a four-year university away from home. She was the second in over 20 years to do that in our family. So, that was a major milestone. But let me tell you something. Even when she went to college in high school, I started changing some things in my life. But when it got to college, I really had to make some major changes. It frustrates me a lot when people say, hey, I'm living my best life, or I'm going to the next level. But we say that, but we never do anything to really change. The mindset has to change. And one of the number one things I remember growing up, my granddaddy would always tell me, Netta, in order for you to do right, you got to have a do right mind. And I was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I got to do right mind. He said, Netta, you have to have a do right mind because until it changes here, it changes nowhere. It changes nowhere. So mind you, from high school to college, there were still some things that went from, in me that went from those years into our college years. So another thing that provoked me when she was in college, it was a struggle because I was totally unprepared. But I knew that I was going to push my daughter to get away from home, go off to school, to get that college experience and get that college education. But during that experience, there were several times my daughter called. Her meal ticket had got stopped, had got cut off. Her dorm room, she couldn't get inside her dorm room. So it was those things. I'm like, okay, I'm changing my finances, but it's something else that still needs to change. So as I'm trying to get financial aid or trying to get other loans, I was getting denied because yes, I had changed some things in my finances, but I didn't change things in my credit. So,
Right.
God, thanks be to God for Choice Credit Solutions, coming aboard and helping me restructure some things in my, in my credit life. So now, I can honestly say that, yeah, those credit scores went from, you know, to up here. And that was because, your company actually stepped in and helped me get some things straight with my credit. So with that being said, now I'm able to move to another level in life. So there's always different levels. Like I say, in high school, it went changing my mindset and restructuring my finances. In college, I had to go to another level and not only change my finances and budget, but now I have to, change credit because I'm going to another level in life. So all of that has played a factor in who I am and why I am who I am today.
What?
Yeah.
And when I say y'all need to, if y'all ain't signed up, make sure y'all sign up with her because she is absolutely dope. And so I just want to let y'all know, not only did she make those type of sacrifices, but she also was in school, and while Katina was in school, she was paying on her school at the same time as her being in school. So even though she was saying, I'm going to another level, in that another level, it commanded something different from her finances that she wouldn't have been able to do at the level she was on.
No, not at all.
So when you go up another level, just know it also comes with other stuff because to much is given, much is required. And say, I'm going to another level. A lot of people don't go to the next level because of the work that it's going to take. You can't even handle the work that's on the level that you're on. So to get to the next level, it takes another mind shift. It takes your mindset to shift in another direction because the mindset it took for you to be on that level can't take you to your next.
That's
You
right.
can't put old wine in the new wineskins.
Oh God, no.
It just don't work.
I tried that many times.
Me too. That's how I know it don't work.
Yeah. It's like, okay, why is this not working? And I remember my aunt, your mother, as a matter of fact, saying, until you pass that test, it's gonna keep circling around. Because I was saying, Auntie, I don't understand why I keep going through the same thing over and over and over again. Because I was trying to put old wine into new wineskin. And nothing was changing. I was just, living an insane life. Always wanting something different, but not wanting to do what it's going to take to get something different. You know, and we so stuck in our ways to where we don't want to change, because you know changing is uncomfortable. So it's, you know, one of the quotes I say all the time to myself today: my uncomfortable zones shall become my new norm. I need my uncomfortable zones to become my new normal, because everything uncomfortable, it doesn't feel good, but it's taking me to another level. It's taking me outside of my comfort zone. It's taking me, you know, to meet new people that I need to be meeting. It's helping me with, you know, finances, with credit, with, you know, just everywhere that I'm going in life. I have to be willing to change. And that's where I'm at. That's what I you know, I teach today, just changing your mindset. Change that mindset, because until that mindset change, nothing changes.
Nothing changes until your mindset change. And it could be, and a lot of people think, oh, I got to change drastically. It ain't even that. It's doing small things over and over consistently.
Oh, yes.
That causes change to be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying, oh, today, you know, I said I'm going to stop cussing and today I stopped cussing. No, you could be cussing all day and you say, okay, well, what I'm not going to do is in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to make the conscious decision to at least not allow cuss words to come out of my mouth for the first 2 hours, or for the first hour, or for the first 30 minutes, just depending on how bad it is. And if you're a smoker, same thing. Say you're trying to stop smoking and you're like, okay, I normally can smoke a pack a day. So then say, well, I don't know how many cigarettes come in a pack. Say, I'm going to make sure at the end of the day, I'm going to have one, at least one left, or 2 or 3. And each day you build up and build up to where now you don't even desire to even pick up a pack or go buy a pack, or you just giving them away because now the desire is no longer there. Most people say, oh, I'm looking for God to deliver me. And God is like, I've given you the tools. You came here born out of your mother with everything you needed to do what you needed to do.
That's true. And you know what? I love what you just said. You know, those minute changes. You know, I always wanted to take a great leap. Before you take that great leap, if you start small, you'll realize those small things make a great change. I remember years ago, see, I didn't have a lot of discipline. It came to getting up in the morning, getting to a certain place on time, doing things that needed to be done on time, you know, just showing up like you're supposed to. So I remember years ago, I was working this one job, and this was a job that helped me continue through school, and also helped me get my first property. But I remember I was living with my mom in Indian Trail, and I had to drive maybe 15 minutes to get to this job that was in Harrisburg, North Carolina. That drive was about 50 minutes. I had to be there at 6 o'clock on the dot. So mind you, I had to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make sure there, because this was an assembly line job paying only $8 an hour. $8 an hour. But let me tell you something, that job taught me discipline. It taught me to get up and be there on time, because if I got there, say for instance at 6:01, they've already shut down for who they're going to accept that day. So I literally had to be there early enough so I can get in the first number of people so that I can get on that assembly line to make $8 an hour. So, you know, as frustrated as I was going through that process, as hard as it was to go through that process, it taught me discipline. You know, so there are stepping stones that we have to take in our life to get to our next level. And that was that too was another beginning stepping stone for me to help change my mindset at that time, to shift into something different.
Wow. Y'all see that? Small things, small changes. And with that, we're going to take a brief commercial and we will be right back with y'all, because I know y'all ready to get into the juicy goosey. Hello, everyone. I am so excited. Guess why? I am officially an author. I wrote a book. Yes, I did. And I want you all to go out and support. The pre-sale is available. Yes, y'all know I'm all full of color.
So the book is also full of color as well. It gives you everything you need to know about money, budgeting, and guess what? Your credit, because you know I am the credit queen. So I want you to have all of that jam-packed into this beautiful book. It's easy to read. The letters are big. Even my grandma liked it, okay? And you know Granny liked everything that I do, but she especially liked this because she didn't even have to go get a magnifier to read that little old word. So go out and get your book today. I want to thank you so much for all your support. See you later.
Friday Night Live 365.
Thank y'all so much and welcome back. So if y'all were not, or you've been under a rock and you wasn't here, you just been under a rock and you've been hiding, we got Jeannetta Blackmon with us, and she's been diving all into just how she got here on this particular journey of entrepreneurship and mindset. And hey, this right here is good nuggets. Like, she is dropping bombs on us and helping us to get better so we can be better. Because all we out here doing, trying to educate to elevate.
Yes.
So with educate to elevate in mind, we want to move right into her book.
Yes. Yay.
Yes! Her book is called No More Tears. No! So, going into No More Tears, because this book came out in what year?
2018.
Okay. So No More Tears came out in 2018, and that was her book that she wrote, that not only the gems that she's been giving to us in the first half of the segment, but also like she goes into a deeper dive of what we've been talking about. So that is also in this book. What made you get to the point where you like, okay, all the knowledge and all of what I've been through, I need to put it in the book? What made you get to that place?
What led me to that place is knowing that I had a calling in my life, knowing that I had a purpose. Never knew in the early years exactly what my purpose was until I made a lot of bad decisions, bumped my head quite a few times, went through a lot of trials and tribulations, and God allowed me to overcome a lot of those adversities that I had self-inflicted on myself. So what led me to writing a book is I now know my purpose. My purpose is to share my story with other people, that to either deter them from going through what I've gone through so they can take an easier route. Thank God for people like you who have actually listened, because we're a decade apart. So a lot of things that I went through that took me a longer time to get to where I am, you can get there faster, a whole decade faster. But there are some people that are hard-headed like me that they're going to need this book. They're going to need to know how I did it, everything that I went through in my life, and how I can't, it's not everything, but some of the major things that I went through in life and how I overcame those different adversities to get to where I am today. So that, knowing my purpose, it took me a long time on that journey to learn what my purpose is. And now that I know my purpose is to share my story with others, to deter them from going down a path of just ridiculousness, or those who I can encourage to stay on the right path. As long as you stay on the right path, you can get there a lot faster. It won't take you 8 years to get an associate's degree. Like it did for me. You can be a doctor in 8 years or whatever you may want to be. So, I encourage everybody to please pick up and read the book. It's an easy read. And I just dropped some quick, simple nuggets in the book. It's not something that will take you a long time to read. It's a very short, quick read. And it just gives you some very pertinent information on how to overcome life adversities.
Absolutely. Because overcoming life adversities, sometimes in the midst of it, it seemed hard. But when you look back at it, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
And the part that most people, I guess, I don't want to say they forget to realize, or I don't really know how I want to say that. But when the Bible says we overcome by the word of our testimony, what happens is you go through the test, and most people forget to tell people the money, the words or the experience and how they got over, which is how we stay in bondage so long, because you forget to go back and tell, hey, this was the test I went through, and this is how I got through. So now, because nobody is really telling testimonies, or they're not giving the full testimony, or I'm just gonna give you a little bit, or you don't feel led to give, or you too scared to give, or fear got you caught up in not wanting to give because you don't want nobody to judge it. But why did you go through it? Only to share it, right?
Right.
So I love the fact that you put just different stories in that book and how to get over. I even appreciate and I thank you for always sharing what you went through or what you've gone through and what you're currently going through with me, because it helps me to say, okay, I can still push, I can make it, I can get through this. Oh girl, that's not that bad. Because I can think something is real bad because you know I'm extra.
Yeah. But you know, so sometimes we look back and we say, oh, it wasn't that bad. I can look back and say some things were really that bad.
Well, yeah.
It was terrible. It was horrible. I have 3 pennies. I couldn't find 3 cents anywhere. I mean, not outside on the ground, anywhere. And it was really bad. But let me tell you something, but changing my mindset, it's like today, okay, I can go swipe my card and get me some gas and fill up several cars if I want to. And I don't say that boasting or bragging. I say it boasting in Christ, because he allowed me to go through what I went through, change my mindset so I can live a better life today. And today, yes, my smile is real. Yes, today I am living my best life. You know, I'm not struggling anymore. I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I am still becoming every single day. What people don't understand, they see the outside and they don't know that it's a struggle. It's still a struggle for me every day. You know, I wrestle with Netta. That's why I tell people I don't have time for the nonsense. I don't have time for your foolishness, because I have my own foolishness that I wrestle with every single day. It's something that I have to overcome within myself every day. So, but I'm constantly changing my mindset so that I don't slip back into my old ways, because I don't want to be that person that I used to be. I'm not where I should be, or I'm definitely not where I'm going, but I'll soon get there as long as I don't ever go back to where I came from. So
absolutely.
I'm forward.
Well, we ain't going back, honey. All we know is forward. And if you go, honey, you can't give up now. You can't go back there.
That's one of the things that people need to understand. There is no going back. Sometimes the tests get hard some days. Some days are a lot harder than others, but if you just keep pressing forward, just keep a positive mindset, speak positive affirmations, just stay positive and get around. Your circle is so important. Like you say, it ain't about family. It's about the tribe that you build. Your circle is important. Understand, Jesus had 3 in his inner circle. But he dealt with 12, but it was 3 that was in his inner circle for a reason. And those 3 major people you got to have those people that you can always ping pong off of. And you are one of my ping pong people. If I'm going through it, hey, I have to call you and say, hey, and we bounce ideas off of each other. Iron sharpens iron. So it's not that I'm any better than anybody else. It's just I try to make better decisions and put myself in a better circle so that I don't have to keep wrestling with who I am or what I did yesterday. Get with people that's going to help pull me to the top. And that's the most important thing. So being uncomfortable and changing your mindset plays a role with, getting connected to some people that are living a lot better than we are, because those are the people that can pull us to the top.
Right. And most times what happens is most people feel their personal self allows them to feel inferior to the same person that can bring them up, so they won't even connect.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I face those challenges too. I've did that before. Like I'll get around certain people and I'll be afraid to speak because I feel like they're very well versed or more educated, or they speak better, or they're more spiritual than I am. So I'll kind of fade to the background some. But I'm learning to come out of that shell. Like Diana Ross song, I'm coming out. We got to come out of that shell. We have to outside our comfort zone in order to live our best life and get to our next level in life.
And you have to come out of that. So when you be like, oh, this is what I've been, 39 has been amazing. Y'all know it's my birthday month. But what I have been challenging myself to do is look at the things that are not comfortable to me. And I'm like, I don't do that. I don't want to do that because I don't know how to do that. I've been writing those things down and challenging myself to do them.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Like, And I think that will help for y'all out there too, is challenging yourself to do the things that you're not good at or not comfortable with doing. If you're not good with networking with people, but you know that networking is what God has placed on your heart for you to do, is to get in rooms of people that can elevate you, start doing it. Go on Eventbrite, figure out who's doing what, look up networking events, get in the room, get your business card, get your nice suit together. Say, okay, I'm gonna walk in this room and I'm gonna make sure I connect with 3 people. It don't have to be everybody in the room. Just say 3 people. I'm gonna make sure I give them my card and make sure they know my name and what I do. Get you a 30-minute elevator pitch. What you do, who you are, what you do, and how you can make their lives better if they connect with you.
Yeah, and I
Their
like.
life is about themselves. So if you can tell them why they need you,
Uh-huh.
man, you will always leave an impression on their mind. Even if they may not call you at that moment, they'll always go back because they're gonna like, nah, she said I've needed her for XYZ. Let me reach out to her. Or when somebody gets to talking about X, the thing that you say that somebody needs you for, then they're gonna be like, oh, I know somebody. I just met her and I don't really know, but let's try her. Because everybody needs that 30-minute, that 30-second elevator pitch that makes you memorable and stand out from the crowd of people that's in there. And just go in there saying, God, lead me to those 3. Get outside of your comfort zone. Because that's gonna help you to get to no more tears.
Yeah.
Ah, y'all like that, don't you?
Tell you something, because I've shedded many tears. But the book is titled "No More Tears: Begin to Live Again." So I had to go through my dry valley experience. I went
Yeah.
through that, sharing those tears experience, to where now I'm learning to learning to live again. So like I say, I'm becoming every day. And one of the things that you were saying about networking that I absolutely love, I listen to Mike Murdoch a lot, who they call him the Solomon of today, because he's very wise. And one of the things that he says, you never know who you're going to meet that's going to connect you to somebody, that's going to be that $1 million you need to know. He says somebody out there is holding your $1 million, in their hands. So you have to connect with other people. Step outside your comfort zone and go to these networking events, because and that's a very, very powerful tool. And it's something that I'm glad that we're getting over the pandemic and people are starting to open up more. So therefore we're able to get out more, so we can do networking. Because I'm a hands-on person. I'm a touchy feel person. I like to see you face to face. Shake your hand, or I'm a hugger or whatever, versus just zooming in all the time. Zoom is great, but it's not as personal as actually meeting a person face to face.
Right. I agree. And we outside. So definitely. And while we're outside, we definitely want to make sure that you get her book. But she just launched her new book, her new workbook that goes along with the book. So that launched, and I'm excited about it. Why? Because now she got not one tool to tell you about her journey, but the workbook gives you the layout on how you can get
Yes.
to your journey and learning to live again. Okay? Because I told y'all, she done told y'all the book is called No More Tears, Your Journey to Living Again. In my opinion, the book is just No More Tears. The workbook is the journey to learning to live again. Why? Because it gives you so much in there. Because I looked over to y'all when she did it, and I was just like, I needed this in my life like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
But it's going to take me to my next. And I just want to let you dive in and tell us all about that, and y'all can purchase it. It's right there on the screen for the information for you to purchase the book as well as the workbook. Go to Amazon and get that today. Do not hesitate. Run. Don't walk. Run, Forrest.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us all about the workbook.
It is, and I'm so excited about the workbook because it took me a very long time to actually put the workbook together. Thank God for allowing me to get connected to the right people who can help me bring all my notes together and be able to translate that into the workbook. So the workbook is called No More Tears: How I Did It. So in the workbook, I talk about how I did it, how I had to learn to forgive, so that I could, get a lot of animosity out of my life, so I wasn't holding up any prayers. It also talks about, just being real and being genuine with yourself first. Because a lot of times, we can fool somebody else, but you cannot fool self. So I had to learn me all over again, and I taught in the workbook, I tell people how, to go through those different stages of beginning to knowing yourself again, learning who you are, which is one of the main things. I'm gonna tell you one quick story. One of the things that led me to that, I remember one of my godchildren at this time, she was 14 years old, and she was doing a little dating thing, and she say a little friend asked her what type of flower she likes, and she said she didn't know. And I looked at her and I said, you know what, baby, I don't know either. So all this time in my life, I had been taking out time getting to know other people or trying to learn this, trying to learn that, but I had forgot about me. I was not getting to know me. So at that moment, a 14-year-old had to teach me how to learn me. So I had to, jot down a journal. What does Jeannetta like? Who is Jeannetta? What does she do? What's my favorite color? What's my favorite food? What's my favorite flower? All of these things. Because a lot of times we learn these things about somebody else, but we don't really know who we are. So, and I talk about that in the workbook. Get to know yourself first. So once you get to know who you are, and be comfortable with yourself, because you got to be comfortable with self. Because a lot of times we're harder to judge ourselves than others judge us, but we judge ourselves harder because we know who we know who we really are. We know what we're really dealing with. So learn to know yourself, and then you can learn to love yourself. But you can't love yourself or anybody else if you don't know who you are, and then begin to love you first. So I talk about a lot of that in the workbook. The workbook is actually a tool that I'll be using to do a lot of my teaching and coaching classes from, which is also going to lead into an e-course that I'll be coming into, will be coming later down the line. But life coaching is coming directly from the book and also the workbook, and it breaks down, setting those daily affirmations, learning to love yourself, learning to forgive, how we can do different things on a day-to-day basis to help overcome the adversities of life, just getting through those different vicissitudes that we go through. It really just breaks down a lot, but you're gonna have to get the book.
You're gonna have to get the book and the workbook.
Yeah, because I can
purchase them. They right there. That's where y'all go get them from. Right there. Amazon. Go get them.
I want to do it too.
Yes. Because we understand, because we are living life too. Life is hard. And because life is hard, sometimes along that journey, not sometimes, all the time, you need tools in your tool belt. As you go along life, you need to get tools, put tools in your tool belt to where it will be there to be able to reiterate through your brain, through your mind, on a cycle, on a loop, the positive. That book and that workbook is going to work hand in hand as a mental tool to work you through to your next. That's going to take you where you're trying to go. That's like, it's like the gas pedal. Get on it. Don't wait to get on something that is better, that is going to be productive, especially those that are shoppers out there. You think shoes make you feel good? No, it ain't the shoes that make you feel good. That is a Band-Aid. Getting the workbook will become a tool to where when you buy shoes, it's because you know yourself and you're like, I just like it. I don't need to feel good. I already feel good within myself because I done went and got the No More Tears, How I Did It workbook, and I worked through it to learn myself. Because to thyself be true. If you can't be true to yourself, you can't be true to nobody. Okay. And not only that, love your neighbor as thyself. People forget about the latter part, which means you got to love yourself first. How do you love something you don't know? Get the workbook to work through learning to know who you are. It is important to know who you are, because then it's easy to love you, to know you. I always used to say, people are like, oh, whatever. And I said, well, to know me is to love me. You can't. Some people, I'm not one of them people you can just love right off the cuff. Oh, she cool people. Sometimes I am, but sometimes you're like, oh, she loud, or oh, she this. But when you know me, you just be like, oh no, you cannot not love you. But to know me is to love me, no different from you. To know you is to love you. and every part of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the growing parts, the parts that you don't want to shine a light on, shine a light on them. This is growing season. And what better way to do it with No More Tears, the book, as well as the workbook. Get it, purchase it today. Not only that, so she got that going on. And because we outside, she got her whole event that is coming up on October the 29th. I will be there in the vendor, and it's also my experience. So we're going to dive into talking about your cancer awareness event and what made you want to start this particular awareness campaign.
You know what? It was a simple start in the beginning with my nonprofit organization. We were having a meeting, and we happened to be going into the month of October. I think by this time it was early mid September of 2019, and it was like, well, cancer, October's Cancer Awareness Month, so we need to do something for that. So I'm like, okay, well, let's host an event, because I got a couple of family members who've been dealing with breast cancer. So that sounds great. So we hosted the first event in 2019. And of course, the pandemic shut us down for 2020, 2021. So here you are in 2022. And now the event is a little more personal. We're not only talking about breast cancer, we're talking about just cancer awareness, period, because there's so many different types of cancer that are out there that people are getting. And like I said, when I say personal, it's personal to me because I've lost my brother due to cancer, which is actually, he was one of the speakers scheduled to speak at this event next Saturday, and he didn't make it. So I want everyone to please come out and get this informative information that we will be sharing on Saturday. I have one of the speakers that's going to be there. She talks about SAD, which is Standard American Diet. And all she drills us about today is what to eat and the things that God has created on earth for us to put in our system that fights not only against cancer, but other different diseases. So come out so you can be very, very well educated on what to eat, what not to eat, what to do, what not to do, how to take care of yourself, different cancer screenings that need to be done. Because what the healthcare system does not tell you, when you have Medicaid, and you go to your doctor and you get your annual physical, yes, there are tests that they run, but they will not do cancer screening unless you request it. And a lot of people don't know that. So we want to give out as much information as we can because too many of our young people are getting sick and dying with cancer. And I just refuse to have to lose another loved one or hear of another very close friend losing a loved one to cancer. Let's come together and let's fight against this thing. One person educate another to educate us all to cancer.
Absolutely, because it is phenomenal that you are doing this because cancer is what has swept the nation and we didn't see it coming. Not on the sense because they don't talk about it as much, which is why it was able to sweep the nation. And because we don't deal with it, because it makes us eat better. Cancer comes because of what we are eating.
Yes.
It can come generationally too, through our genetics. But most times when we get certain cancers is by what we consume.
Yes. And I'm glad
consuming things that we shouldn't consume.
And I'm glad you said that because like I said, one of the speakers that are coming, she's very informative on speaking on what we should and should not eat. When she spoke at the event in 2019, she gave us a recipe, a cancer fighting recipe. She was diagnosed with some type of brain cancer, and that cancer spread from her brain all throughout her body. So what her and her husband began to do was just study heavily on what to eat and what not to eat, with what was causing the cancer or what actually feeds cancer. So now she's coming back again, which I'm very, very excited to have her to come back, is because not only is she talking about cancer recipes, cancer fighting recipes, but she really doesn't even talk about her cancer anymore or how she battled with cancer. She say, my message today that people don't like, she said, but I spoke recently at a church, and they didn't like the fact that I told them that they don't need to be eating that fried chicken. She said, so a lot of people don't really like my message because my message stirs up some things. So her message, you know, kind of relates back to the book, stepping outside your comfort zone, something that we don't normally do, in which we like to eat chicken. Everybody loves to eat chicken. I love to eat a lot of different things, but I'm learning to scale back too, so that I can live a uncomfortable, healthier lifestyle. Let me put it that way. So
And I want to say it's only uncomfortable in the beginning.
Yes.
And once it becomes a lifestyle, it's your norm.
Yeah. Yeah.
No different from how we all learned to adapt to the new way of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's kind of like, okay, this is the new norm. We don't even think about it as much now as we did 2 years ago. So you just have to start.
Yes.
And want to live, because living your best life means you are doing things that's going to make sure you live a healthy life.
Mm-hmm. And you know,
like
you said about COVID, you know, they came up with a diagnosis for COVID. You know, they got something to fight against COVID, but what's the problem? We can't seem to cure cancer. And that's what we'll be talking about at this event. One of the reasons that we can't cure it is because of what we're eating, what we're putting into our system. And I haven't got all the way there yet. There's still some things that I absolutely enjoy eating. If you, one of the things that make me the happiest is to eat a delicious meal. But I know that there's things that I have to scale back on, you know, so that we can live a healthier lifestyle. So please come out. The event is going to be held Saturday, October the 29th. Doors open up at 1:00. We have some wonderful, wonderful vendors that are going to be out there sharing a lot of information, selling books, clothing, just a lot of different things. But one of the most important things that we will be giving out, we're going to have mugs that actually it's called a tumbler, and on that tumbler we had the cancer fighting recipe on that tumbler. Make sure you come out and purchase one of those tumblers, because as you sip your drink out of that tumbler, you're constantly going to be reminded of what you need to be putting inside your system that's going to help fight against cancer. So we're going to have a lot of tools there, and I'm excited about this event. Like I say, even now, the more that event is touches closer to home. Because like I say, I had, my brother was one of the speakers, one of my guest speakers, and he didn't make it. So I'm 46 years old, way too young to be in the graveyard, but this is where we are, and we want to, you know, get a little more educated. So everyone, please share this information and come out and join us on Saturday, October the 29th at 1:00.
And be sure to get registered. That information is on your screen right now. So you can go to Eventbrite and you can type in Cancer Awareness Event. And it's free. It's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like she said, it starts at 1:00. We want you to show up for yourself.
Yes.
Showing up for yourself is self-care. It is self-love. Showing up for yourself to get the information. Not only to get the information, but begin the implementation process. So come, enjoy. I'll be there. Y'all get to see my face. I had cancer as well. A lot of people don't know that. I had thyroid cancer. So I do not have one. I have a scar right here that you can see, but it's hidden so well that most people don't notice. And my mother had breast cancer. And so going through the journey myself and watching my mom go through the journey, it makes me want to do better and be better and actually make good, healthy steps just towards getting better information on the topic, because it's not my expertise. Okay, it's not, which is why I show up for myself to get the information so I can then start to implement it and then go ahead and share the information with other people. So make sure that I catch you and I get to see you. And is there anything else that you would like to tell the people before we close out?
Yes. I want to talk about the book. I'll have the book there at the event. No, Begin to Live Again. The workbook is now out. Thank you all who are following us and helping us make the book and the workbook a success. It was Amazon's bestseller, #1 in 3 different categories. We came in #2 in the second category. I'm very excited about that. I'll have those workbooks on hand. Please come out and support us. You can go to my website, which is JeannettaRenee.com. That's JeannettaRenee.com. To purchase a book, to find out more about me, and to find out about what type of events we'll be having coming up. But most importantly, come together on Saturday, October the 29th, so we can help one another fight against cancer and support those who are battling with it today. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And so the way we like to end the show is by you encouraging the people out there, because the people that you have encouraged them on this whole live, but we just like to end it off with a bang with either some advice or some encouragement that you can share with them before we end out this live.
One of the things I would love to say is educate to elevate. You cannot elevate and get to your next level if you're not being properly educated. That's in your finances and budgeting and credit and you're in your mindset, in your spirituality, physical, everything, just every aspect of your life. Get yourself educated on those things so you can educate to your next level. And if you need help with that, please call me anytime. Thank you.
And her number is available. It's also going to be in the comment section as well. So if you're watching it, make sure you watch the comment section. It's also streaming across the bottom. She has an amazing website that you can check out. Check out her book on Amazon. And if you want to give her a call, her number is 704-668-1457. Book her, okay? Because, baby, I'm telling you, if you're looking at my life and you're like, wow, she made the difference. She is one of those people that has poured into me, okay? So if you're trying to get your life and get on a new level, get with her so she can educate you so you can elevate. And if you would like to be a part of the show, you want your business to be on Friday Night Live, please feel free to reach out to us at fnl@choicecreditsolutions.com. That is at the bottom. Or you can also inbox us as well, because we like to make sure that we're always elevating and celebrating other business owners. Until next time, peace.
Friday Night Live 365.